Welcome to sunny Melbourne. Bill Thompson for Outside Insiders. I've caught David Marr at an inopportune time. Of course, anytime I cross paths with David Marr, it's inopportune for David. Although I did have occasion to enjoy David's company at La Trobe University a few years ago. Professor Robert Mann, who at the time was one of Australia's treasures, one of the great public intellectuals. He used to run regular events at La Trobe University where a range of topics would be covered, always from a leftist perspective. There was I attended an event, and I think it had to do with refugee policy, and the speakers included David Marr and David Mann, who I think was Robert Mann's nephew, and another David, whose surname escapes me, who was I think a producer of TV shows and had done something on SBS, Go Back Where You Came From. So needless to say, the discussion about refugees on the day was entirely from the perspective of people who had the view that we should have an open door policy. You needn't go through the refugee process, you needn't apply for a visa, you just show up and you should be allowed to come in and spend the rest of your life on the public tee. Which I think perhaps sums up Robert Mann. He spent a fair bit of his life on the public tee. As a matter of fact, as did I. I was an ATO auditor for 26 years. And I did my bit, I felt, to try to level the playing field. I spent a lot of time auditing private individuals, individual taxpayers and small business people to help them to find taxable income they didn't realise they had. And over 26 years I was involved in raising assessments for tens of millions of dollars. There were undoubtedly tax officers who raised a lot more revenue than I did, but for the most part I was operating in a small town environment. I wasn't at the big end of town, although in my last 4 years at the tax office I worked in Project Wickenby, which garnered some headlines at the time. Notwithstanding what I viewed as my purpose of ensuring that business people paid their fair share of tax, I never lost sight of the fact that entrepreneurs and business people are the backbone of Australia's economy. They generate the wealth that pays taxes, that employs people across Australia and ensures the economic success of the country. So while I assisted many people in that environment to pay more tax. I always acknowledge their contribution to the country. Bill Thompson for Outside Insiders.